When you neglect people, this is what happens. They were neglected, but they were fed. They had enough food. They had clothes. They had roof over their head. But that's also not enough. Then they realized, no. Bring them into the mainstream. I go back to talking about education. Say they opened the doors. They accommodated them. Even though they were not doing well on certain standardized tests. But they said, look, an African American or a person like me, I have no idea what it means to slopes to ask on a standardized test, unless until you have the exposure or the wealth to go on the slopes of Alps or somewhere else in Colorado, etc. So I'm just giving you one example. So they said, okay, let's create rule. They may not be able to answer all the questions because they do not have the necessary foundation or education or the background, but we'll do it. So America has come a long way, so we can take lessons. I'm not saying that America is flawless. Yes. They have difficulties, and they have difficulties. They have recognized it. Then also remember, integration will not come by force. You cannot change anything by force or intimidation. So think about it, youngsters, all of you. God love you. I know that everybody loves you. Take care.
मेरे साथ वाराणसी से तशरीफ लाए हुए डॉक्टर अमीर सिद्दीकी साहब, वाराणसी साहब तो आ नहीं सके। बहुत ही अच्छा होता आप इधर नानक सिंह प्रोफेसर भूषण जी, राजनारायण जी, दोस्तों और प्यारे बच्चे, इनसे कहा गया है कि तेलुगु में बात करें। मुख्य अंटाओं पुष्पगुच्छों गुलदस्ता आज नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन के मौके पर ये जो फारूक अली साहब और राजनारायण उनके दोस्त मिलकर जो गुलदस्ता यहाँ पर बनाए हैं, काबिल तारीफ है। इसमें हर रिलीजन एक फ्लावर की तरह रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है। ये हमारा भारत है, ये हमारा इंडिया है, ये हमारी इंडिपेंडेंस। ఇక్కడ నేను నిలబడి మాట్లాడడానికి కారణం నేను చేస్తూ వస్తున్న సోషల్ సర్వీస్, అదే తప్ప ఇతర ఏమీ లేదు. మీరున్న వయసులో మేము ఉంటుంది. కళాంగాలు చెప్పినట్టుగా ఒక కళ పార్ देखा करो और उसको
Prime Minister of the country, Srimati Indira Gandhi. Most of you are young children. You will not remember what happened in the year 2000 unless you would have read about it. But I think each one of you must know about it. At the dawn of the millennium, when it was the year 2000, the British Broadcasting Company, the BBC, you must have all heard about it. The BBC television conducted a survey all over the world because it was the beginning of a new millennium. And they wanted to conduct a survey all over the world to know who the people of the world thought was the women of the millennium. When a new millennium had dawned, they wanted to know who the people of this world considered to be the women of the millennium. It was not somebody in the country who said it. It is not people like me who are congressmen who talk about it. And what was the population of India at that time? Compared to today. And those days, we could not produce enough food for our people, and we were dependent. And when you're dependent on large countries for something as essential as food, there are a lot of difficulties that we are forced to face, a lot of compromises that we are forced to make, so that the continuity of supply of food grains is not affected. And then Indira Gandhi taught that this must stop. And she was responsible for what we remember today as the Green Revolution. And today, we not only produce enough food for the people of our country, the second largest country in the world in terms of population after China, but we are also in a position to export food. All this has happened not because of what some of the leaders of the present generation are talking about or doing. It was because of the farsightedness and the vision of leaders like Indira Gandhi, leaders of Indira Gandhi, that she ushered in the Green Revolution, and we started producing enough food, not only for ourselves but also be in a position to export. And to demonstrate to the world that India is capable of great achievements in the field of science and technology. It was the impetus given by Indira Gandhi that continued what was established by her father and the first Prime Minister of this country, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. We were able to put the first Indian in the space, Captain Rakesh Sharma, who incidentally hailed from Hyderabad, was the first Indian to go into space. And Indira Gandhi talked to him, that satellite communication that they had. And when she asked Rakesh Sharma, how does India look from out there in the space? And the reply from Rakesh Sharma was, सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. We also had to prove to the world that we have great capabilities. It was during the leadership of Indira Gandhi and because of her efforts, continuing the initiatives taken by Jawaharlal Nehru, recognized the power of India. But we are determined to use nuclear power for peaceful purposes and not for destruction, as our neighbors recently tried to claim. Today, in the whole country, it is the beginning of the centenary year of the birth of Srimati Indira Gandhi. In 2017, it will be it will be a centenary. So this whole year, there will be many occasions all over the country to recall the contributions made by her. And I want each one of you, I don't know if some of you have followed the recent American elections. And there was so much of talk whether history will be made in America to have a first woman president in America. It didn't happen so. The concession speech that was made by Hillary Clinton after her defeat, she was trying to inspire the girls of America that they can dream And what she tried to convey, that she hoped that one day there will be a woman president in the United States. The girls of India can be proud of the kind of leadership. For 17 years, Srimati Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of the largest democracy of the world. This is no ordinary achievement. We know how difficult it is to continue to be in power. But then she has gone down in history. She will go down in history as a person who has contributed immensely to make India what it is today. Now, why is today being observed as the Indian Constitution written that way? To ensure that India, we have the basis for a secular society in this country. We have to look back first. So much so, when India gained independence, even a small the people of this country, there are also spent some time working at the center. I solemnly pledge to work with dedication, freedom and integration and integrity of the nation. I further affirm that I shall never resort to violence and all that differences and disputed related to religion, language, region, or other political or economic grievances should be settled by peaceful and constitutional means. Thank you. That is what some people are today trying to do. Unfortunately, there are organizations which are backing people who are in power to polarize this country on communal lines. And I think that should be the greatest threat through the Indian democracy. We should all remember this and defeat the purposes of such people. చివరికి రెండు quotations. We should all know what Mahatma Gandhi had once said. I am a Hindu and swear by my religion. I would also like to quote what Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, who was a great
what is
follower
happening
of
to our
Gandhi.
currency now? Some of the speakers earlier have mentioned that one sweeping move has made, and one thing that Mr. Modi said on the 8th when he addressed the nation, which created panic in the people of the country. आज के बाद ये 500 रुपए 1000 रुपए सिर्फ कागज बन के रह जाएंगे. Even though there are 50 days to put all the legitimate money in the banks, people really got scared. It spread panic all over the country. One other thing that I should mention. It was a 1,000 rupee note, a 5,000 rupee note, and also a 10,000 rupee note. When Mr. Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister, they took a decision that the high denomination notes, that is 1,000 rupee, 5,000 rupees and 10,000 rupees, should be demonetized. They should be taken out of circulation. The difference between what was done in 78 and what was done now, what has been done now.
And we are very fortunate. But let me say, there is so much to be said about Madam Gandhi. I have heard her in America too. She was a very strong lady, very extremely bold. And she did not hesitate to disagree for the well-being of the people, especially the Vietnam War. She was against it and she did a tremendous job in bringing it to the conclusion. But also let me just thank Maureen and Larry Hatt. Without Dr. Rajnarayan, I don't think I would have been able to do a lot of things. What a great asset, what a great friend. He's a true friend. He's a true friend of the mankind. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajnarayan.
Thank you for the mention. జాతీయ సమైక్యత దినోత్సవం సందర్భంగా ప్రతి ఏటా ఇచ్చే అవార్డు ఈసారి ప్రముఖ సంఘ సేవకులు ఫ్రీడమ్ ఫైటర్ గత 50 సంవత్సరాలుగా హిందూ ముస్లిం ఐక్యత కొరకు పురాణపూర్ కార్వాన్ నియోజకవర్గాల్లో నిరంతరం వాళ్ళ ఐక్యత కొరకు శాంతి పైన కృషి చేస్తున్నందుకు వాటిని కన్సిడర్ చేసి ఈసారి సేనాపతి బాలకిషన్ ముదిరాజ్ గారికి ఇవ్వాలని జాతీయ సమైక్యత అవార్డు కమిటీ ప్రకటించింది. ఈ అవార్డును ముఖ్య అతిథి
నిల్చోండి సార్, నిల్చోండి. ఇక్కడ చూడండి సార్, ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇది చూడండి. చాలా గొప్ప సార్, ఇక్కడ చూడండి. సార్ దగ్గర సార్, దగ్గర మీరంతా దగ్గర కొంచెం సార్, ఇక్కడ చూడండి సార్. జస్ట్ వెయిట్ అక్కడ చూడండి సార్, ఇదే దగ్గర ఇక్కడ చూడాలి, అందరు ఇక్కడ చూడాలి. ఇక్కడ చూడండి.
आते जाओ ना कम छोड़ो भी क्या करो, मैं सुन रहे क्या
మీరు సరిగా ఇచ్చి ఇక్కడ వస్తే తీయచ్చు. अब थोड़ा इधर के सब थोड़ा
बस
हाँ इधर लेके आओ.
ये ले लो मार दो, देखो ना
जिंदाबाद. एक जमाने थे हम वही हिंदू मुसलमान थे, हम बचपने से वो लोगों के साथ रहे. और मीर उस्मान अली खान बहादुर उनका सिल्वर जुबली है, उस वक्त में 4 साल का था. उस वक्त मेरे भाइयों ने मेरे को ले जाके उनसे उनके दर्शन करवाए. और हम हिंदू मुसलमान भाइयों के जैसा है. इस जमाने में भी हम वैसे ही है. हमारे सब्जी मंडी के अंदर कई हिंदू मुसलमान भाइयों जब गड़बड़ हुआ था, रमीदा के गड़बड़ हुआ था, तो कई दिनों के लोग कई जने मरे और घरा वगैरह जला दिए करे. उस वक्त फिर पवित्र साहब कमिश्नर साहब थे, उनको बुला भेज के हिंदू मुसलमान सबके नहीं बैठ के पूरे महीने वाले बैठ के जब हम ये बोले थे आइंदा हमारे पास क्या कम्युनल नहीं होना, ये गड़बड़ा नहीं होना, हिंदू मुसलमान एक जमाने से एक जमाने से मिलजुल के रहे थे। अब ये लोग आके सियासत लोग आके हमारे को गड़बड़ करा दिए। इसके लिए हम सब जने मिलकर काम करना बोलते। जब हमारे ठाकुर मोहन सिंह था सदर और मैं जनरल सेक्रेटरी मेरे को बनाए, उस जमाने से अभी भी कोई कम्युनल राइट नहीं है हमारे पास और हम हिंदू मुसलमान भाइयों के जैसा रहते हर अच्छे भूले में।
महात्मा गांधी के बारे में बोलिए। आप महात्मा गांधी के साथ काम करें, आजादी की लड़ाई लड़े, ये रहेगा फसादों की बात भी करेगा। आप महात्मा गांधी के साथ आप जो काम करें जद्दोजहद है तो वो भी बोलिए।
जय तेलंगाना, जय तेलंगाना, जय तेलंगाना।
एक बच्चे बताइए, आप जब छोटे थे अपनी माँ का कैसा ख्याल करते थे? बताओ।
माँ बाप के पैरों के नीचे ही जन्नत है। हमारे बड़े बुजुर्गों भी बोले के बाद भगवान भी ये बोला कि पहले माँ बाप को देखो, बाद में मेरे को देखो। माँ बाप की जो खिदमत करा वो अभी भी अच्छे हैं। वो जो माँ बाप की खिदमत करते हैं उनके राह पर जब चलते हैं तो वो लोग बिल्कुल अच्छे रहते हैं। उनकी दुआ भगवान की दुआ, जो हम छोटे बड़ों को नमस्कार करते हैं तो वो लोगों का ख्याल नहीं रखते बल्कि वो नमस्कार भगवान को जाता है। इसलिए मैं आप लोगों से प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि माँ बाप का सेवा अवलीन सेवा, खुदा का सेवा के नमाज से मैं बड़ी बात नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि मेरी माँ के उन्होंने 103 साल में उनका इंतकाल हुआ। रोजाना मैं 5 मरतबा उनके पैर पड़ता था। मेरा ये पहला ये भाई के रोजाना मेरे होटल था, जाके आते वक्त जाते वक्त आते वक्त जाते वक्त सोते वक्त करते वक्त मेरी माँ को इतना उनकी दुआ है मेरे को, मेरे माँ का, मेरे माँ बाप का इतनी दुआ है मैं कुछ बयान नहीं कर सकता। उन्हीं की दुआ कर, उन्हीं की दुआ की तुफेल है कि मेरे को आप लोगों से मिलने का मेरे को मौका वही लोगों ने फराहम किया। खुदावंद ने कही राम रहीम एक, जिसमें कोई तफरका नहीं है। मगर सियासी लोगों के तरफ से हम अपने जिंदगियां खराब कर ले रहे हैं। मगर हम कर्नाटकी साहब के साथ एक ज़माना गुजारे। हम जब तेलंगाना सेपरेट तेलंगाना के लिए उनके साथ रहा, उन्होंने जो बोलते थे उसके ऊपर हम अमल करें। मगर वो सब तो तेलंगाना नहीं मिला। अब जो तेलंगाना मिला है, अब जय तेलंगाना, जय तेलंगाना, जय तेलंगाना, जय हिंद।
ఈ రోజు 97 ఇయర్స్ సేనాపతి బాలకృష్ణ గారికి ఇంత యాక్టివ్గా మాట్లాడుతున్నారంటే తల్లిదండ్రుల ఆశ.
Anybody can come forward and they can sit like this only. Why you don't have to? Come for sit take a mother. क्या करते हो? उनको कैसा बोल रहा है?
Ready? Okay.
Just to name it, I promise you, I'll set it.
मालूम हाँ मैं सामने क्लोजअप लेके आ गया